Good morning, everyone. So, just sitting here doing my readings, and messages are coming in. So, when I speak about not putting races on pedestals, not putting these churches and these denominations on pedestals, it be your own people, your own congregation. I had every race come against me. Dominations in these religious organizations. When I spoke about being kidnapped as a child, I was trafficked through the Vatican, which is the church, which is these different organizations who be worshiping them. These pastors, these Baptists, these preachers, the ones that say they were called to speak the word of God, but thing is, they trafficked me through the Vatican over to the United States through the military. They changed my whole identity to keep me away from being able to speak, being able to elevate other people. See, people wonder why I'm not so concerned. Everybody running around trying to figure out what's going to happen next. You know why I'm not worried about what's going to happen next? Because being in these situations, I was always for the people. But the people weren't for me. See, now I'm at a point in my life. I don't have to worry about people. I cried so many tears throughout my childhood just for the people. Yearning so they can open their eyes and truly understand how much they meant to me and how much they meant to God, the universe, how much they truly love. See, they wanted to shun the little children. They wanted to silence the little children because they speak the truth. See, I stated many times, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell the truth. I sleep good at night. I don't have no guilty conscience. I'm giving people the truth because they deserve the truth. Something that nobody wanted me to have. See, they knew that once I awakened and knew truly what was going on, not only the truth for other people will be revealed, but the truth for myself. See, during this journey, I was never thinking about me, and I. It was always about the yous. It was always about the we's. What can we do to uplift, to uphold? People still in the background now been crying and mourning and yearning for me to come back. No. See, when I was there, y'all didn't need it. Y'all didn't need me. I swore up and down, y'all told communities, the covens, the covenants, the secret societies, how much you didn't need me. So, since you don't need me, you can stay over there. You can sit with those folks that you were sitting with, that you were celebrating with, spinning my games, like it was yarn. Now people want somebody to walk with them and hold their arm. But they're not going to get that. People are truly seeing the truth that I was innocent in all of it. I wanted things to be better for them. See, I wanted to give them the answers. Make sure they were good. See, I knew I would always be good. I was never a selfish person, a selfish being. I was always the beacon that kept beaming. Always gave people their congratulations and their rounds of applause. I was always the one to sit in the background and was always nodding my head. Made sure that people knew and was aware that I understood how they felt, what they were saying. Even when other people shunned them, I understood how it felt to be shunned. And made fun of and used and abused and neglected. See, now these folks are realizing that they were part of a trafficking, kidnapping, and harboring holding me hostage. See, when these people got mixed up in all the things they were getting mixed up in, they didn't know I was kidnapped when I was a child. See, now people understand that they were harboring and they were abetting and they were holding hostages and they were part of a kidnapping ring. They understand it, and they seeing now that the people they got involved with, they never had their best interest. But I always said when I was a child around these folks, see, don't trust those people. I was giving them the cues, telling them, look, don't do it. They didn't believe me. They always said a child should stay in a child's place. But little did they know, I knew what was going on behind the scenes with folks. I was around those folks 24/7. See, that's what people should understand and should have understood. Instead of going with so-called protocol and going with people who claim programs and claim to be prophets, the only thing they were profiting off of was y'all downfall. They knew that once I moved on, everything was going to break out. Everything was going to be lessened. Everything was going to unravel like the yarn that they spin. And then people chose to follow people who live like pigs. The audacity. They not only do they live like pigs, but their whole mindset is of a pig. People fail to realize that they were feeding them the bodies, the blood of people that they sacrificed. While people was at those barbecues and on those vacations and up in the mountains, doing their little rituals, now they're seeing. Now they're doing spell work to seek forgiveness and redemption. How dare you, the audacity, to keep thinking that you're going to keep spinning some yarn to do spell work. Oh, now you want to crochet. You went from sewing to some crocheting. How dare you? Just so that you could get some forgiveness and some redemption. Thinking that you can continue doing spell work. All you doing is spinning that web for yourselves and those people that you joined with and had joined with you to be in cahoots. I don't feel bad for nobody. I don't. Like I said, I cried all those tears. All those tears as a child, as a teen, as an adult. Even though nobody wanted what was best for me, I still wanted something better for you. Because I knew a lot of people were innocent, especially their children. I was the one that always wanted what was best for the children. Even though I knew I was abused and being neglected, being used, being gaslit. I seen through it. Even though people were trying to keep me trapped and keep me hostage. And then, when they knew I got an adult, I was able to move around more. They still wanted to bind my mind. They still wanted to push and continue to keep people opposing and going against me. Keep those oppositions in place. They knew that if I would have walked away as in my early 20s, everything would have been unleashed. But I am so grateful that I waited. The universe had me wait. Not only did I see people for who they were, but I truly understand why things are going the way it's going. See, I understand the accordance of the universe. I understand the laws that not only are binding, but people spent their years bidding their time. Now that they can't put in no more bids and gamble and use chance and lots to cast upon people. People gonna understand how it feels to have to sit by yourself and reflect. See, I don't have a problem with looking in the mirror and telling myself I love you. Good job. Keep up the good work. See, everything I do and say, I say, God bless you. When I sneeze, God bless you. And I tell myself, thank you. You're welcome. See, everything I do, every move I make, no matter what, I tell myself, thank you. You're welcome. You know, I hold my own hand. See, people fail to realize that y'all let go of my hand. I didn't let go of y'all hand. You know, y'all always wanted to be in command and always wanted to demand. Now look at y'all asses. Receiving reprimands. How do it feels? Now that you are globally being reprimanded, universally being reprimanded. You know, everybody swore up and down they follow the 10 commandments, but you have to understand those commandments were that they're selling down here and trafficking down here was originated through man, through reptilians, through different beings to keep you stuck, to keep you silent, to keep you quiet. You know, I don't have I don't have a problem with following the rules and following directions. You know, but it also applies to people in political parties and those that's being elected. You know, everybody trying to push somebody into power, standing in line for hours, still trying to understand their ups and their downs, or trying to understand where they gonna go. You know, not understanding that you control your own flows. You know, you have to understand why no is important, why you should understand what reaping is and what sowing is. You know, so like I said, so these people that still spinning webs and spinning yarn and trying to control and disarm and disengage. Look, you already wrote your page and pages of spell work. You know, trying to build a whole shell work. You know, so yeah, keep shelving. Thank you.